I'm going to go over wrap book page 134, number 4 again, just because I feel like a lot of people are still confused and I wasn't exactly helping with understanding the material. So let me go ahead and review this one more time, maybe in a clearer way so you guys can understand this. So first, we are using the same shape as number 3, which is going to be a triangle ABC with the following points. I already graphed it right here. So if you can go ahead and first graph the original figure, it will be really helpful. Now, because I am going to move it counterclockwise, you are going to actually move it in 2 different ways if you want to. If you want to actually use counterclockwise, you can move it once, twice, or 3 times and then have the shape right here. Or you can move it 90 degrees clockwise and it's going to still give you the same shape. So let me go ahead and write that down. So right here, 270 degrees counterclockwise is the same thing as 90 degrees clockwise. Now, if it was just going over clockwise and over x or the y-axis, it's going to be really simple. But then our condition says it's going to be rotated about vertex A, which means I am going to hold on to the vertex A and then spin the rest of the other ones clockwise 90 degrees. So let's go ahead and see how we can do that. So I know, and I'm going to use a red pen, that A is just going to stay the same because I am holding that point on the paper. So A and A prime is going to have the same exact point. Now I'm going to move B. I'm going to see how many units I'll have to move for point B to point B prime. What I'm going to do is I'm going to count how many units B is going to be away from the rotation point. So it's going to be 1 and 2. And I do the same. I start from here and I want to make 90 degrees angle. So I want to do 1 and 2 this way. And I make B prime. And I know this is going to be correct because when I connect these, from this point to this point, it's going to be 90 degrees. For my C point, I'm going to go ahead and also count and see how many units it's away. So I count 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. So I'm going to do the opposite when I'm going to the 90 degrees. So I do 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And this is going to be my C prime. And then I'm going to go ahead and connect them. The reason why I switch the x and the y is because whenever you are changing the degrees, you're going to have either the x or the y value changing. So I'm going to change what I do for counting. So now I have my A prime, B prime, and C prime, and I know that I have the right answer because it looks like I just rotated this all the way here. I have 90 degrees angle here, and all my 3 points are going to look exactly like my original figure. Some people had questions on number 5 too, so I'm just going to briefly go over this. You don't have to actually graph this. This is something that you can find out the answers by following the pattern, but I know for some people it's easier to have a visual. I'm not actually going to plot everything, but based on these numbers that I have, I know my final answer is going to be somewhere on my 3rd quadrant because they're both negative numbers. So I'm just going to draw, this is going to be the shape, it's going to be here, and this is the final shape. It's a triangle actually. So I have a final shape on this quadrant, but because it was rotated 180 degrees about the origin, I know that my original figure is going to be on the opposite across, and this is going to be the original figure. So how do I find out about my original figure? You have a rule to follow. If you are rotating anything 180 degrees, you're going to have the original x and y, right? Whenever you rotate it, those x and y is going to change into the opposite side of the x and y. I'm using a negative number here because I started with a positive number. But let's say if I started with a negative number, then I'm going to have positive number for my final answer. So if it's either this or like this. If you have two negative numbers, it's going to be two positive numbers. If it's one negative, one positive, same thing, you're going to change it to its opposite sign so you can have the original answer or the new answer. So in this case, we have all numbers that are negative. So once you change them, they're all going to be positive numbers for the original. So hopefully this makes sense to you. You're just changing it into the opposite sign for number 5, and then for number 4, you're changing it into 90 degrees clockwise or 270 degrees counterclockwise, which are the same thing.